Hello! To get that sportsiness in. We're darks.
Hey Ma, I've realized there is so much I'm gonna have to tell you when the wrong turns and I finally find you. About what happened to me in the 5 years after I ran away from the family, how the wrong turns and I first met in Hagramir and stumbled onto the trail of Agora's horsemen, how we fought 4 of them across the continent and hopefully delayed Agora's return for a bit longer, how we wound up joining the chapters of Brass. Yeah, Ma, me, in a legitimate guild of hero and soldier types, can you believe it? I'll have to tell you all about how Cousin Breezy finally tracked me down on candle nights, how she nearly killed my best friend Kingjax trying to get to me, how Breezy's being mind-controlled by someone willing to help Aunt Thunder kill me. Wait till you hear the song I wrote about how the wrong turns and our friend Cal helped me track the wandering dusts to Albion, to a desert city they called Carnivale. Aunt Thunder was using horrible magic to control the family, to make them kill people and collect the blood and bodies for some kind of ritual. Ma, you'll never believe it, but Aunt Thunder is a devil. Like, literally. My friend Bryn says she's a type of fiend called a Rakshasa, and Bryn is the smartest person I know. Alright, maybe you will believe it, especially depending on what she's done to you since I ran away. She's why you're missing after all. Don't worry, the wrong turns and I sent her back to hell, for now at least. And we broke the curse she put on Da. He's alive and well. And he misses you. We both do. After we defeated Thunder, we went to the capital city of Maywood where, well, I made some bad choices, and long story short, I don't think we can ever go back there unless we want to wind up in the gallows. We traveled to Theroboros not long after, at least. We tracked an arcane water contamination in Albion to an ancient founding family of the plane called the Darunes. Turns out they're the ones responsible for the rose disease that killed Bryn's entire family 90 years ago, made Adrian's kid comatose, and even made Bulin Yang sick. He's the arch-existence Kingjax follows. And it turns out the Darunes have been getting help from Auntie Thunder for decades, maybe even centuries. We managed to stop a creature the Darunes created called a Skeen Witch from shattering one of Agora's bells. After the fight, we found a magic bowl that cures the rose disease if you drink from it. Now Adrian's kid Callan is cured, and we're back at our house in the chapters of Brass for a while so she can spend some time with him. We have a new friend who helped us in the battle, too. A human woman named Saren, whose taste in fashion is surpassed only by her taste in liquor. I think we're gonna get on real well. The wrong turns have been summoned to Hagramir by the Council of Voices to report about what happened with Agora's bell. I don't like it. The information about the Darunes we found says something bad has happened in major cities like Hagramir, and I don't think we can trust the Council. I'll be alright, though. I'll be safe so long as I got all my friends with me. And Nock's favor on my side. Oh, one more thing I guess I should tell ya. I kind of changed my name after I ran away, so the family couldn't find me and kill me like Thunder wanted to, you see. I hope you understand. No one's called me chasing shadows in the moonlight for over 5 years. I'm Blossom now. Blossom on the water. Don't worry, Ma. I promise. I'll always be your little moonbeam.
Beans in the chat.
And we're back. Thank you as always, Sam, as my mic was muted. Again, welcome to the beginning of Arc 2. I'm really excited to have you all here. A brief recap before we jump back into what was going on. We joined the wrong turns in a town called the Bookends. A glistening golden tower is the main centerpiece of the circular town down inside a wooded glaive. The wrong turns and their new friend Saren are fresh on the heels of stopping an evil force from destroying one of Agora's 7 bells, an astonishingly large and potentially world-ending structure. This device, there's 7 of them, and it is said if they are all broken, Agora, the astral dragon, will return to the land once more and destroy humanity and finish what she started many years ago. That's pretty much what we got. I think at the very end we had Anissa and Shay, 2 essentially bounty hunters that have come to collect the wrong turns and have them report back to a few higher authorities on what they've got going on. So I think at the very end, though, we had Saren kind of sneak out of the window here and follow them. So Saren, if you want to make a perception check as you kind of can hear what they're talking about as you're following them through the streets a bit.
Okay. Not great, not terrible. You said perception?
Yeah.
15.
Okay. So let's see what you get. 1 second. I have notes for this, I swear. So you kind of hear them, and they are kind of talking about Anissa is the blonde-haired ranger-looking type, if you want to classify them by a class. And she has begun talking to Shay, a monk-looking individual who wears monk vestiges, about pretty much how attractive she thought you all were, and how many beauties there are in that one little house. And she goes on to talk to Shay. They're holding hands. They're hand in hands, walking through the streets. That's pretty much what you got. Do you want to keep following them, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Just I'm disguised as like a little child. I'm not me.
Right. Okay, so you continue on. You wait a little while. They actually head to the center of town, which is the giant golden tower, and the bar that you all told them to attend is called the Brass. Very simple, a play on words about the chapters of Brass, the mercenary company who resides in this town. A blue dragonborn man is behind the bar, as they were all told, and he's a bit of a grouch. That's kind of what you know about where you're headed.
Okay. If they're going into a bar, they probably aren't gonna like talk about anything out in the open. I'll let it go for now.
Right.
But I memorize kind of what they look like and how they sound and how they talk.
Sure, easy
And then
enough
I'll
to
head
do.
back.
Yeah. Okay, so you kind of head back. You duck back into the window that you had snuck out of and rejoin the rest of the group.
As me, I'm not a
Yeah,
child.
right. Rest of the group, what are you all up to?
Training.
Nice.
Ooh, ooh.
This is still like morning the next day after the battle with the skiing witch, right?
Yeah, it's bright and early, 8 a.m. Sun's just coming up.
Oh,
Oh.
then I'm done with my training. I've been doing
Awesome.
this since like 5.
Yep.
Blossom is super hungover because she had a lot even for her the night before, and is probably even still a little bit drunk. So she's just sort of stumbling around the kitchen like, did anybody make any coffee? I'm gonna make some coffee.
Kane Jax is rolling up for the day.
Yes, she is.
He's planning the partay.
If it's about 8 in the morning, I would say that Adrian is actually probably in the kitchen making like a celebratory breakfast now that
Aw.
Kellen can eat
Aw.
things. So she's trying really hard to make pancakes. Not going great, but like at least the bacon's edible.
Yeah.
Rin's a good cook. She'll help Adrian.
Okay. she'll grunt appreciatively.
Blossom makes the coffee and pours a little bit from her flask into her cup.
Okay.
Best way to help the headache, you know?
Truly.
Little hair to the dog. Wait a minute. Hold on.
So just to give you a little background on the day, the Dryad's Den is the house that you all are chilling in right now. It is a pretty beautiful house that you can find in Roll20 for the players, and it's in our Discord as well for anyone who wants to see it. It is a 2-story like log cabin vibe. There is a small pond out back, and it is a beautiful morning. There's dew on the grass outside. It's not as cold as the continent you were just on, Albion. It's much better. It's more spring over here. Seasons are a little weird, but it's kind of spring. The sun's shining. There's kids in the street playing, and you kind of look out into your wooded little acre, and it's just a very calm, peaceful morning.
I'm going to go out into the main room, I guess, with a shit ton of books and a shit ton of paper and a quill. And I'm just going to sit down and start reading and taking notes on basically anything about family genealogies or anything that I can find.
Okay. Yeah. So there is a big library in town as well, but if you're just using the books that you all stole from, the Bell place, there are numbers of families listed. There's a lot. I can get you all the names. It's probably not great for me to just rattle them all off to you, but I can send you all the names. There's a few you've heard of. The Wraithrenders, which is the one that they all just said Victor and Persephone were a part of that lineage. The name Stormheart is in there, which is the word that King Jax heard muttered by the Skeen Witch the day before. And there's a few other ones. The Moonlit King is in there, which you already knew and have had prior run-ins with. And that's really about it for your recognition, but I can send you all the names as well.
Sure, no worries. At this point, I'm just information gathering, so.
Yep, you copy them all down.
Do I smell burnt bread?
Pancakes.
King Jax will lean in, and now you get a whiff of wet dog and cannabis. Oh no, that's me. Don't mind. I'm sorry. It's the fur. Everything, all the smells cling to it.
I made plenty, so help yourself. And there's just like a plate next to her that's just full of like black, like inch thick bricks.
King Jax will eat one politely.
That looks great, Adrian.
Yeah, I made these. Bryn made those. Those are probably better.
Blossom will also politely eat a bricked pancake. But
I will put one on my plate and I will pretend to eat it.
Where's the dog? Do we have a dog?
I think no.
We should get a dog.
Oh,
Why?
Bryn, you're right. We should get a puppy.
We're not here enough.
All right,
That's
fine.
blue.
Well,
I don't know if Azil would get along with a dog also.
Can't you just like make him a dog?
How does one
I could, but like I prefer him a cat.
Wizards. Alright.
Nerd.
He's my cat.
Oh man. Alright, well I guess what's everybody up to today?
I was planning to take Callan out and I don't know, do fun stuff.
I think that sounds great.
I was gonna pay our good old friend Risker and Cheeser a visit. Maybe hang out with Mr. Micah. It's been a while since I've had a night on the town with Mr. Micah, so...
That's true, he didn't really stick around the other night when he came by. He did come by, right? I didn't just like
Yeah,
fucking
no, he was here.
hallucinate that.
He was here.
Alright, everything is kind of a fucking blur. Yeah. Sorry, it was a good night to celebrate. Like drink some coffee.
I plan to gather all the clues we have found along our journey, see if I can make some sense of them.
Hey, DM, what language is all the books in that Saren's reading?
They're just in common.
Oh no. King Jack's gonna lean over and look at what Saren's doing, and he's gonna be like, "Oh, what you doing there?" And he's like trying really hard to make out the words. It's very obvious, but it's like...
I'm taking notes on some of the books we found. Can you not read?
I can read perfectly fine in Giant and Elven, but I can't read Common very well.
You can't read common. And then I look at everyone else. He can't read common.
He can read common. It's just, a little slow. He's getting better. You're getting better, King Jax.
He's like looking for words. He's like, okay, which one of these says beans? Which one of these says beans?
None of them. Okay, you know what? My plans have changed. You, me, we're going to the library. Your plans have changed too, by the way.
Oh, okay. I guess I should have sent Mr. Micah a brain text and let him know we're not going to be hanging out tonight.
At least not for a while.
Well, I mean, that's for, tonight, though. I mean, I'm sure the library's not open at night. Is that the library's open at night?
Hey, Bryn, you know this, right?
Most libraries are open the majority of the time.
Oh, that's stupid.
Oh, beans.
I mean, Adrian, leans over to Blossom, are we gonna let them take him?
Oh, hell no. We're going to fucking Riskers. It's alright, we'll figure it out.
I'm going to at least try to teach him common by the end of the day. We'll see how much gets done. But I can't believe you don't know common. It is literally the most commonly known language in the world. That's why it's called common.
But it's the third language I learned. I never really got good at the whole reading part. I was more of a speaker than a reader.
Okay,
we speak Giant where I come from. I don't see...
You know Giant and Elven. Okay, I can work with those alphabets. All right. Okay. Get your things, get some snacks. We're going.
Oh, beans.
I want to participate in this.
Please, come along. I'll need the help.
King Jax is defeatedly slumps his shoulders, goes and grabs a few snacks, goes to his room. He comes out of his room with a whole bunch of extra herbs. Gonna need these.
Blossom will pass by and just be like, don't worry, we'll come get you.
Understood. You can hear, as he's walking away, you can hear a prayer under his breath.
Hey, Bryn, before you head out, I was wondering, could I borrow that fancy circlet you got for just a couple of days?
Okay.
I just got some people I'd like to check in on, and I think it might be easier if I send the messages myself, right? That thing lets you send a message.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, if you need it, that's cool. I just, I'll give it back.
Listen, everyone I would send a message to is in this room.
Huh. All right. Well, thanks. I'll give it back, I promise.
You're welcome. Just be careful with it. It's pretty powerful, magically speaking.
Yeah, don't worry. I mean, I'm not gonna let it out of my sight.
So before we all head our separate ways, you do kind of all congregate into the main little entryway foyer area for a second, and you do find a note on the table. And it basically says, "I'm headed home. It's been great, Yaramir." And it also has a book that seems to be humming to you, sitting on the table that you might have found inside of the Tomb of the Five Royals that he might have stolen.
I just use Mage Hand to flip it to the front where it's the quietest.
Yeah. It stops humming.
God damn it.
Should we give this to the nerds?
Yeah, I will take it and put it in the... We have a little library in the house, right?
You do, yeah. Right outside your room. Yep.
I'll take it and go put it down there.
It's not
Decidedly
dangerous,
curious
right?
about that, but I'm going to let it go for now. I have.
Oh yeah, you weren't here till the end of that, horrible watery fucking experience.
Yes. What? Why was it humming?
We don't fucking know.
Not
It's
a
about,
clue.
the creation story of the world and stuff. I don't know. It didn't seem like it was hurting anybody, but it is creepy as hell.
Oh, well. Again.
Find it near an altar?
Yeah, for Estisha.
Yeah, and there were corpses.
DM, have I heard anything about this book?
So you've definitely heard about Estisha. She's the mother of creation and water. And she's a goddess that is dead, presumably. So you've definitely heard about her. You've definitely heard about the creation story, how Estisha and Kozoth, the god of fire, battled over the globe. you've probably never heard of a humming book about it. This book like isn't super uncommon. You've probably seen this story before.
Okay.
Just for whatever reason, it's humming. When it's kind of like singing almost, like orchestral, like church choirs.
Okay.
So that's about it.
Well, again, other things need to be taken care of first, but
I wish
that
the
is...
books in common would talk to me.
Well, then you wouldn't need to read then, would you? As
But
it
that-
stands, they don't speak, so you need to learn to read.
Not reading would be great.
It's
looks
like
horrified.
It's like that moment Kane Jack's like reaching out as Blossom and Adrian are walking out. Like that moment when it's like all your friends are going to party and you're like, I have to do homework.
The test, I gotta study.
I'll
Have
see.
a final.
Kane Jax will flip you a few gold pieces and be like, have one on me, please.
We'll
I never
see
said you wouldn't get to
later.
party. I'm just saying we've got other things to do first.
Well, if it's going to be as hard as it has been with Blossom, it's going to be a lot. We're going to be in the library for at least a week.
I believe in you, King Jax.
Oh, thanks, Blossom. Maybe it didn't help that most of our reading lessons ended up, well...
They were fine. Super productive. I know so much giant. And Blossom will just say stuff and it's just like a bunch of words for like weed and shit.
Oh, that one means whiskey.
Swear words.
Oh, that one. Oh, we don't. That's an impolite word to say. I don't know where she learned that one.
Yeah, I can't imagine where I picked that up.
Oh, beans.
Blossom trots off just like beans. It's so much sillier with her accent.
All beans.
Baines.
Oh, beans, y'all.
All Bane.
As a Texan, I appreciate this.
I apologize.
All right, so Adrian's hanging out with Callan for the day. It seems Wizards and Cleric are going to the library. Blossom, what are you up to?
Well, I definitely got some messages that I want to try sending, but I can only do one of those, and that won't take long.
I mean, Adrian will extend an invitation for Blossom to come hang out with them.
Blossom doesn't want to like intrude on Adrian's first day with Callan back, though. Maybe I'll swing by later, though. Hang out for a bit. For starters, Blossom's gonna go to that area in the chapters where there's like all of the different shrines for the arch existences. She's gonna leave that, when there's nobody around, she's gonna leave that adjudicator symbol she stole from Lathander by accident at it, and just kind of be like, sorry about that,
Sure.
my bad, and just like leave a gold next to it for like good measure.
Yeah, so you ascend one of the there's actually two golden towers. I had said one earlier, but they're connected by a bridge in the center. You go to the right one, and there's a circular hall where all the arch existences are represented in small little rooms, and there's like a small altar, nobody in there, dusty, and you just kind of bunk and just kind of leave it on
Yeah.
there.
Just like, my bad. Mobby man.
That's funny.
And after that, shit, I don't even know where she's gonna want to go. She'll probably just make her way to Riskers and like hang out there until everybody else is done and get started on the drinking.
Okay.
But for a while, she'll sort of sit there and attune to the circlet. I'm trying to decide who she wants to message first once she has the chance.
Yeah, no rush. We can go to somebody else while you decide.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Adrian, what are you up to?
What do kids like to do? Gambling's probably out. Should we do it without the money? Is that just like playing cards? Go swimming. Is it warm enough to go swimming? Do kids like to go swimming? And she's just like standing there outside his room trying to figure out what the hell kids like to do for fun. I'm sure I could find a ball. We could play catch. That seems like a good thing. Yeah, we'll play catch. And she'll knock on the door and be like, morning.
Good morning.
I made some, well, I made some bricks. Bryn made pancakes. They're pretty good if you would like some pancakes and bacon.
You kind of walk in, and he's still in bed, but he's like sitting up. He looks, he looks like somebody waking up from a coma would look. He's a little fragile, but he's there. He has color in his skin, and he looks somewhat healthy, due to King Jack's kind of helping him the night before. So he sits up and he's like, I could eat a horse, honestly. I'm really hungry.
Oh yeah, let's go do that. I don't know if I have any horses. Okay, I have a lot of bacon and a lot of pancakes.
He just takes it and he absolutely scarfs everything down. He hasn't eaten in a long time.
Good. Okay. So what do you want to do today? Play catch. I have a ball.
Can you teach me how to be a sword fighter?
I mean, I don't know if you can hold a sword at this point. You're kind of small. It's a little bit.
Oh, come on. I'm not that small. Look. And he kind of tries to stand up. He stumbles for a second and he sits back down.
Oh my god. Okay. You just woke up from a coma. You've been out for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Your muscles probably don't work that well, and swords are not safe.
All right. Well, I mean, catch sounds like fun. As long as we're hanging out.
Okay, good. All right, cool. Good. I will go find a ball. Take your time, get dressed. Meet me downstairs. If you need help getting down the stairs, please let me know. Like,
okay.
Immediately. Okay, good. Okay, bye.
You shut the door and you hear like a bang, bang, bang. He's like, I'm okay.
Oh, God. Torm, damn it. Oh, God. Okay. This is fine. It's okay. He's awake. It's fine. Okay. Does bowling exist? Maybe that's a good thing to do.
Sure, it does now.
Okay. Bowling is like a good thing for when you don't know what you want to do and you need something to do. Bowling's good.
That's like the only time anyone bowls in real life.
Yep.
All right.
And that's it for right now.
All right, so Adrian's going to take Callan bowling for a bit, and we'll check in on them in a while. All right, let's go to the Nerds and the Stoner. Their new band name.
It's just the
Seriously,
Breakfast Club.
That's like a
It really
TBS
is.
sitcom.
Dazed and confused.
Dazed and confused.
All right, so the three of you approach the left golden tower. The library is at the very top of the left tower, and so you trudge through the many levels and layers of this place. You have to pass through Rober's Tavern, the Brass. And King Jax, as you enter, he kind of like, ugh, and he kind of moves down the bar away from you, facing away.
That asshole.
And so you continue on through. There's a few checks to show that you are a member of the Chapters of Brass, and you're allowed to bring Saren with you, even though she doesn't have a stamp, just because you're a member. So you vouch for her. There's a few guards, so it is it's guarded. It's not just everyone come out check our library. But the stunning part is you enter into a circular library about 300 feet off the ground. It is very Game of Thrones-esque. It is circular. There are multiple levels and bookshelves and ladders. You see people stepping up and taking bookshelves down onto these large oak rectangular tables that they sit with other scholars reading. There is a front little semicircular help desk where a nice man sits, a nice human man. He's smiling and helpful. And you pretty much get the sense that you have pretty much full reign of the place. There is one room in the back. There's a oaken door that is locked, and it says private quarters, but that's it.
And like the whole way there, King Jax is trying to justify why he can't read common. He's just like, well, I never saw a reason. I never really had to. I wasn't writing letters. So, well, I'd write letters to home. I'd write for home. I'm kind of writing the Boolean Bible. I would be the one to write it. And then, I had the pen pal who was an elf, so it would make sense that I knew Elvish. And then, I just never really understood why I'd have to read common. It seemed like a lot of time, and Oh, beans. And then, like, when we go by one of the guards, I'm gonna, like, stick a J in, like, his front pocket.
I'm only half listening to him.
Yeah, I'm not listening to him. Is there like a kids section? Can we get some
Sure.
like picture books?
Sure, there's picture books. Why
See
not?
spot run.
Go dog go.
Go dog go.
See
Next
giant
man.
throw. Yeah, there's a little kids section. There's a small human girl, and her dad is kind of reading to her.
Are there like kid-size like desks
Yep.
and stuff? And are you gonna make King James?
Absolutely
He
are.
wasn't, but I'm going to now.
Furball, like curl.
The 8-foot tall, 600-pound furball is like sitting like in this little chair and desk.
They're also like, you know how in like Barnes and Nobles and stuff they design them for like wooden enchanted forests. They kind of look like that. They're like stumps more than anything.
I want to make some lined paper, but like the big lined paper with
Yeah.
the dotted line in the middle.
Yeah.
Teach him cursive.
What does it even say? I don't. Oh.
This isn't saying anything, it's to help your handwriting. Now, I'm going to go through this. And I'm going to pick out some books that I helped my sibling learn Common with, that I know helped them. And I'm just going to plop those down on the tiny little baby desk in front of the giant ass furball. And then I will pull up two human-sized chairs. And I will sit and help.
You know, I really wish they made this something's big enough for me around here.
I'm sure it would help. Anyway, we're going to start here. We're starting with the alphabet. How much of that do you know?
I know A, B, C. And then there's
Okay,
one
I
with
know
2
you can
dots
speak
above it.
them. I know you can speak them, but can you point them out in a book? Okay. So basically,
Bryn's gonna like write out the alphabet in her like fancy copper plate handwriting.
no, it's beautiful. Oh, that's so beautiful. And then I'll kind of point out each letter, and then I will write each one in regular, very beautiful script.
The real fantasy is having good handwriting.
Yeah.
And Kane Jax is just like, it's very just, the struggle to write is real. He does not have very good handwriting, especially with Common. It's just squigglies everywhere. But these two look the same! This isn't even...
No, this is a B, and this is a D.
Why don't they just call it backwards B? It would be easier to remember that way.
Well, we sort of did that with a W, but the W looks like 2 V's instead, so...
Kane Jax is just like, who made this language? It makes no sense!
It's basically a bastardization of like 4 different languages. It has like roots in Elvish and roots in Dwarvish, and they all kind of like came together. So it can be a bit confusing.
Why didn't you say it's like Dwarvish?
It has some similarities.
They do overlap. Would it help if we translate it in? I'm going to look at Brynwyn and be like, what languages do you know?
I know Elvish.
I know that one.
You know Elvish.
Yes, I know Elvish, Giant, and Dwarvish.
Okay, so why don't we write out the Elvish alphabet and then correspond with the common alphabet underneath it?
Oh, that might be a good idea. I did do a lot of most of my reading has been done in Elvish for reasons.
Now, the Elvish alphabet has a few more letters than the common one. And the grammar is different.
Oh no.
But we're just learning letters for now. We don't need to worry about grammar. And your grammar when you speak is fine.
Well, sometimes they say funny things, you know. I don't think "oh beans" is an actual phrase anyone actually uses.
You use it and you're an actual person, aren't you?
Yes, but I'm pretty sure Bingle Boppers is one that is from Giant. That is that definitely
Yeah,
has no
that's not
roots.
Elvish. If
Yeah.
anyone was curious, I know Common, Elvish, and Infernal.
Oh, okay. So none of the ones I know. Excellent. Okay, cool. Yeah. Why don't we write out the Elvish alphabet and then do the extra letters correspond with combination sounds in
It's
common?
very phonetic.
Oh, it's phonetic. Okay. All right. So we'll take the phonetic sounds from the Elvish alphabet and correspond it with the common letter underneath it.
Yes. Okay.
Perfect.
Pull out another piece of paper.
Yeah.
And Kane Jax is totally doodling on the sides of his paper.
I slap his hand every time I catch him doodling. You can
Bryn and
doodle.
Saren are like twins. Like they were made for each other.
So much.
How did I end up with two nerds in one group?
Got lucky, I guess. Now, this is a TH. It makes the sound.
Spit flying everywhere.
Yes, TH, as in the.
Okay, well, it's very difficult with the pronounced canines us furballs have.
Well, you just said it's pretty difficult with the canines you have, so you said it pretty well, I must say.
Well, that's when I incorporate a little bit of the Elvish. You see, then you use, and he points at like the Elvish letter perfectly. He's like, well, I just incorporate this letter, and that's just how you say it then.
Exactly. And now you just have to know that that Elvish letter corresponds with the TH in the common.
Okay. Well, when do the two dots above the O come in? I remember that.
That is an umlaut, and that doesn't correspond to common.
Oh, that must be a Dwarvish
Pretty
thing.
sure that's Dwarvish, yeah.
That-
Oh, beans. He's just like,
All right, as the language lesson carries on.
I'm shocked you let us go on
Yeah.
for so long.
I'm not.
I'm so happy.
As the language lesson carries on into the day, about 3 hours or so in, the two of you might have let Kangjax take a break or something, but you do hear like some feet shuffle up behind you. And you hear, oh, Saren! And you turn around and you see Rayson Rayor. He is a member of the Order of the Weave. He is the one you saved from the Feywild.
Oh.
He is a gnomish man, but he appears more dwarven. He has dwarven braids, a long black beard, and deep-set blue eyes. He seems young for a gnome. He's like, oh, I didn't know you were in town. Well,
Yes, I'm with my friends. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm great. Thank you so much. I didn't get to thank you because of the whole, separate portals, but I'm glad to see you made it back.
Yes, where did everybody else land? Are they all right?
Oh, yes, they're all fine. The group of weirdos went their own way. Hopefully we'll never see them again. But, yes, everyone's fine. I've been, Quill is, still in Hagramar, but I was sent here to make sure everything's okay. The chapters took a real beating, and I'm here to just study some of the things that they learned. So I'll be here if you need anything.
Took a beating.
Yeah,
With the libraries? Or something else?
Unfortunately, outside of the bell that they were trying to guard, they lost a lot of members, but they were able to uncover some really interesting findings inside the city, some strange ruins that the giants had apparently made, and so I'm here studying them. Quill would have come, but he knew maybe you were coming back, so he wanted to stay there.
Interesting. Are you going to be here long?
Mm-hmm. I'll be here as long as it takes. I imagine a few months, probably.
All right. Okay. I'll send a message to Quill. I'm glad to see you're all right. I am interested in those ruins, though. Will you keep me updated if you hear anything?
Yes, of course. I think I owe you that much, at least.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, Saren. Well, and he's kind of like, there's another librarian who's kind of like pulling him by the coat past the kids section.
Little baby wave.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
All right, bye, Saren. He kind of trips and like drops all his papers and picks them all up again. He's very clumsy, he seems, and she kind of leads him up the stairs.
Go back to the lesson.
Yeah.
Did I see any of that or hear any of that go down?
Probably.
I do have a very nice passive perception.
Yeah, probably.
And I'm observant, so I was eavesdropping on that whole conversation.
Of course you were.
Oh, well, who was that? That sounded like fun.
Oh, his name's Rayson. He is a member of the Order of the Weave, and he is someone that another group of people and I rescued from the Feywild right before I was pulled into meeting you all. Was that really only yesterday? It feels like a month ago.
Well, you've been to the Feywild, huh?
Not willingly, but yes.
King Jackson is like, ooh, oh, what's it like in there?
The elves like to cry a lot.
That doesn't sound... If Aurora caught another elf crying too much, she would have been like, oh, you get in shape now. You cry now, but later we need you.
There was a crying elf named Atlas. There was a party going on. We had to tell a joke. And then there were a bunch of undead. And we had to get some keys, but the keys didn't really work. And then there was a tree. And the tree, I think, got turned into a toothpick.
Kane Jax looks at Bryn. Sounds like a regular day in the life of the Wrong Turns, if you ask me.
Sorry, undead in the Feywild.
Undead-ish? I'm not sure if they were
undead-ish?
corporeal or illusions.
Oh, okay.
They were real enough when they were running at us. But we weren't around them long enough for me to study them. And I did try, but it didn't really work.
You're going to have to tell me a lot about the Feywild later, because I have a lot of questions. But for now, K-Jax, what's this letter?
Oh, beans.
I'm making flashcards while Bryn's quizzing him.
Is that the double V?
W.
Oh, B. Okay, we're gonna be here for a while.
Oh
King Jax
okay.
is looking for like a no smoking sign.
We pan away from down into the town, and we find Adrian and Callan. Is there anything you want to do at the bowling alley specifically with Callan? You're muted.
I'll buy myself a beer and him a sweet drink, like a slushie or something, if that exists, which I'm sure it does now.
Sure, yeah, bowling alleys do. So, you kind of hand it down to him, and he's like, "Well, can I have what you have? I wanna have the same thing."
You know what? You can try it. Go ahead.
Sick. He takes
Doing
it.
the same thing my parents did to me as a kid.
He takes it and sips it. Ugh. He gives it back.
Yep, that's what I thought. You only like it once you become an adult.
I don't think I'll ever like that.
That's good. You know, that's fine. That's fine. So, maybe taking a kid with muscle atrophy to a place with heavy balls was not a great idea.
No, I can do it. He seems to be walking okay.
Okay.
Just a little slow.
Mhm. How's the score looking? How's is you know what?
How much are you throwing it to him?
Like for the first 3 rounds, I was like absolutely just wailing on this kid, and then I felt bad. So I'm like, oh no, gutter ball. Oh no. Sad.
Oh, I just imagine Adrian's like just throwing it overhand down the aisle. Strike.
Is this not how you play bowl? Like the staff is just like.
Everyone's just looking at you. There's like holes in the bowling alley. Callan's like, no, like, come on, Auntie, like this, and he kind of shows you for a while.
Oh, okay. She'll do it, and dexterity is not her strong suit,
Sure.
so they're all gutter balls after she has to learn how to do it properly.
Sure. About halfway through the set, he kind of looks up and he's like, will you tell me some stories about what's been going on since I was asleep?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so, you know all the strange people that you just met and I didn't introduce you to?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I should introduce you to them, firstly. Secondly, I am, like, kind of in charge of them, I think.
That's cool.
Yeah, so we went on some adventures, and we're trying to stop the end of the world, as far as I know.
Whoa, that's pretty heavy.
Yeah, so there's, like, these bells, like Agora's bells, roll credits.
Sure, I know the story.
And so we're trying to make sure that they're not destroyed so that the world doesn't end.
Did you see one?
Yeah. Yes, I think two, three.
I don't know. I think you've seen one. You've heard a few of them.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So I've seen at least one.
That's so cool.
But do you want to know that time that I went pearl hunting? That was really cool.
You went pearl hunting?
Yeah.
That's so cool. Tell me.
So we met up. We're in this town, and I met this bird person. I don't remember their name, but I remember that they could not talk. But which made them the perfect partner. So they just like threw me into the water, and I would swim down.
That's so cool.
Yeah. It was
Can
a lot
I go?
of fun.
Where was it?
I don't remember the name of the town.
Pearl.
Pearl. Name of the town was Pearl.
That's like really far away if I remember geography, unless it's changed since I was sleeping.
I mean, you know what? It might have. But I don't think it did. It's highly unlikely. But yes, it was very far away. I traveled a lot, and I left you alone here, which was very bad, and I am sorry.
Well, that's okay. I was sleeping anyways. But you have to promise now to make it up to me that you'll take me pearl diving.
Yeah. I mean, we'll have time, plenty of time for that. I mean, apprenticeship season doesn't quite start for a little bit longer, so we can do some fun stuff before we, get you, maybe woodworking.
He
would
hangs
go
his
really
head
well for
back.
you.
What do you mean apprenticeship season?
Well, you gotta, start working on stuff so that when you're an adult, you can make money and, so you have to spend it on stuff, and then you can buy gross drinks like I have.
I don't want gross. Man, adulthood seems sucky.
I mean, yeah, it is. It really is.
Well, why can't I, I kind of want to do what you do. Are you going anywhere? Are you staying here?
I mean, I'm probably gonna have to go and continue doing adventuring stuff and stopping from breaking the bells and things, which is in part of why I want to get you set up with an apprenticeship so that you have somewhere to be, somewhere to stay, and someone to look over you while I'm gone, making money to bring it back to you so I can bring you more Slurpees and we can go bowling.
Okay, I mean, that sounds fun, but hear me out, okay? If the end of the world is coming, maybe you take me with you and you get me one of those fancy swords.
Oh.
And I'm on the front line, me and Auntie Adrian, just fighting back bad guys.
I don't think that's a good idea. I really don't think that's not a you're pretty young to be swinging swords on front lines. And I mean, if anything, you'd have to start off as like a squire, which is really boring. You don't want to do that.
I could do that.
No, you definitely.
I could be your squire.
Oh dear.
You're basically a knight, right?
Well, about that, not exactly.
Oh, okay. Well,
all
all I'm saying is... No, go ahead.
Do you want some grilled cheese? I know a great cheese place.
That sounds lovely.
All right, let's do that.
He throws a gutter ball, walks
We're
away.
Yep, okay. I think you won. All right, we're going to go to Cheezers.
I probably won. And he kind of runs it. He tries to run as best he can a little in front of you.
Oh, fuck. All right. Well, this is going to make things a little more difficult.
All right, so we will progress through the day. We're spending the day with Callan, we're spending the day drinking at Risker's, and we're spending the day at the library. If you all want to meet up at the end of the day, you can. Literally whatever you guys want to do. Completely up to y'all.
Blossom did promise she would come to try and save King Jax at some point.
Okay.
So she will have spent most of the day actually scrawling practice messages down, but progressively getting drunker and just sort of crumbling everything up and be like, I'm gonna do it later. And she'll go to find the nerds at the library.
Okay, same scenario. You pass through, you show your little seal, and you get up and you find them on the kids section. You hear, the first thing you hear is King Jack's groaning all the way from the back right.
Whoa!
All right.
Less than 30. Oh my god.
So how's this going?
I can write my own name, and it's this really the K's backwards.
Hey, that's That's looking pretty great, King Jax. That's
And the
like a lot
J's a
better.
G.
You know, I think you're doing great. Is it maybe time? You know, maybe time for like a break so it can all like sink in. You know.
Under my breath, please.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I was starting. He gets like that sly, sneaky look. I was really just starting to have a lot of. I thought the fun was just beginning. But if you two really want me to take a break, if you insist, now we
I
do.
know what you're
Please
doing. Go get a drink.
Go get drunk with Blossom now.
Well, there's one slight problem. First, you taught me how to read. Now I teach you two how to party.
No, King Jax.
Come on.
Are you buying?
Well, yeah, of course I'm buying. That's what every good party Fearbog does.
Saren, have you ever been to the chapters before? This like your first time in town?
Oh, well, yes, it's my first time in town. I did have the alcohol that you created last night, but
I mean, I didn't create it. I got it. But we should go say hi to good old Risker. It's been a while.
Okay.
I haven't seen him since, before the whole war thing happened, so. Actually,
War
shit.
thing?
It's been like since Candle Nights.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Well, sure. If someone else is buying the drinks, I won't say no.
All right, so
Yeah,
the four
I
of
got
you.
money.
Yeah, you all have money now. The four of you descend the tower, and Adrian, you're kind of walking by as they all come out. And the first thing that the five of you now kind of together hear is you hear the bells ringing in the town that typically indicate something is wrong.
Oh, beans!
You see a small gnome form in a
I mean,
three-piece
darn!
suit.
I look at Callan.
Mr. Micah is running towards you. He's like, "Please come help us! Come help us!" And he takes off down the street.
All right.
Wait, Micah! What?
Damn it! I'll.
No
follow
time,
him.
just come.
If it's another jelly.
We go.
You kind of run after him. You wind him through the streets, and he kind of disappears. He takes a sharp right, and all of a sudden you're kind of getting lost in the town, even though you're kind of familiar with it. His hair is kind of blowing back over his head in the wind. And you get...
Really, Micah? Or is this a trick?
That's Micah. And you get out to the front of Riskers, and there is a large semicircle of all of the chapters. And they say, "Surprise!" And there's just a bunch of people out front.
What?
And Kit's kind of in the center, and she raises a mug, and she's like, "To the wrong turns. They might not be a whole lot, but they saved us from one of Agora's bells. And this is the best thank you you're gonna get, so you better take it." And she clinks glasses, and they all cheers, basically, and drink to you.
I'm like, are we about to get fucking murdered?
And,
Well,
I feel like this is how it starts.
and like festival music starts playing, and Mr. Micah comes up and like grapples one of you around the leg and hugs you. He's like, "We just wanted to say thanks. I mean, I know that you are the only ones to enter, so it was obviously you that saved us all."
go us!
Y'all didn't. This is really nice.
And there's pretty much everybody from the chapters you know. You see Risker deep inside from the bar. Mr. Mike is hanging out. Colby, the ripped female kobold, the armorer of the town, is kind of hanging out. She's got like half a bandana rag on her head. There is Clara's here, the paranoid high elf woman, the no demons woman. And she is...
No demons!
She is awkwardly looking at a drink over her shoulder as if there's demons inside of it. Even Rober
Also
has
makes
turned...
a mental note. I'm gonna avoid her.
Even Rober has turned out in fashion. He's a plump blue dragonborn man wearing fine robes.
Just call him like he is. He's a bingle bopper.
Yep.
Just call him like it is.
Bloodhound, the red warforged individual, he's hanging out as well. And pretty much everybody. Brody's Cheesers is wide open. Pretty much everybody that you've met so far, except for Six Stones, rest in peace, is hanging out here. So it's a very nice party, and everyone comes up to you and, you know, shakes your hand, pats you on the back, even people you've never met before. It's just a genuine show of thank you.
Blossom will just lean over to somebody. I don't know, Adrian probably, whoever's nearby, and just be like, "This is really fucking weird."
You're muted, Adrian.
You're muted.
Yeah, I agree. This is weird.
people don't normally like me.
And
So this isn't normal for you then.
No, this is the first time.
No, usually it's get the heck out of here, you big furry dum-dum.
Yeah, we're like, hey, you're fucking arrested. Blah.
Okay, well, my experiences have been less extreme than theirs, I think. Only been chased out of, like, 2 towns maximum.
2 is still a lot more than most people.
I've never been
Yeah.
chased out of a town myself. I've run out of a town, but I've never been chased
Well,
out of one.
stick
Oh.
with us, Saren.
You'll get chased out of a town in no time.
Wonderful.
Oh, have I told you I'm a fugitive in Albion?
Oh yeah, I forgot
Oh,
about
Of
that.
course you
Yeah,
are.
we all. I still
Yeah.
blame. Well, I'm not actually.
No, that's true. I don't know if Adrian is either.
I don't think so.
Still don't really know why they were looking for you, though. Actually, that was weird. We never really got to ask about that. We'll figure it out. That's a problem for future us. I'm gonna get a drink. Who would like a drink?
A big tall glass for me, please.
Yeah, Blossom's gonna go get drinks.
Okay, Blossom, you head into the bar. You see the large, tall Triton man, blue, kind of wet, dripping skin. He has black hair that's kind of slung over one of his eyes, and then the other eye. He looks up and he acknowledges you, but just kind of hides his eyes, as is Triton tradition, because of their curse, and they're kind of ashamed of their eyes to an extent. So he kind of avoids eye contact, and he says, well, good to see you're alive. Well, all drinks are on the house for the wrong turns tonight.
Oh, that's awesome. Glad to see you're alive, too. I if memory serves, you went off to, help everybody out with everything, right?
I did. Luckily, I've been in a few scrapes, so
Good
got
to see ya.
lots of experience.
Yeah, well, first of all, 5 drinks for me and my friends, please.
Of course.
I don't know how long you've been in town. You didn't by any chance see Tiger Tabaxi coming, leaving the area the last couple of weeks or anything, did you? Not sure, when you came back.
You mean the one that tried to kill us all
Yeah, that one.
a few months ago?
That's the one.
No, as far as my knowledge, she's still in jail.
All right, just wondering what the deal was. Thank you. I'll see you later.
Yep,
I'll bring
sure.
The drinks back to my friends.
Okay.
Be like, hey everyone, how's it going?
Hi.
And that is how I became the king of the ogres.
Whoa!
It's true.
Yeah,
He
Ellen,
really
if you
likes
want
it.
some good stories, you listen to good old KJ.
King Jax, you feel a little tug on your sleeve.
Well, hello there, little tyke.
Will you tell me some good stories?
Well, let me tell you about the time I became the king of the ogres.
Same story.
That's like his go-to story.
Alright.
Or how about the time I punched out the big bird brain?
I mean, either. They sound great. All of them, I guess.
So we were underneath the ground in this wet, dank cave.
Ugh.
There's a big old bloopy sloople.
Blossom
In
will
the
start
corner.
playing music for King James, like standing right behind him.
And there I was. I fell down a giant swirling pit of water. Blossom wouldn't save me, ever afraid of the water. Adrian and...
All right, you fucker.
Blossom was a complete
You just
coward.
hear the string snap. I'm like, I am still fucking drying off from that shit.
Blossom, it's for the drama. It's okay. Adrian, I don't know. Adrian was running a mile, and Bryn was
Likely.
lighting fires somewhere. And there I was in the dank underground caverns, and the big bird brain was. 2 of them were staring me down. Are you still with me here?
He is enthralled. He is like biting his nails, and just every word you say, he's hanging on it.
K-Jax goes into this just overly detailed, overly long story. It's just embellished and
Unbearable. And K-Jax, you do gather a bit of a crowd. You can't tell if it's because they're celebrating you or they're genuinely interested in your story.
K-Jax thinks they're genuinely interested
Sure.
in his story, being the himbo he is.
Sure. One individual that does catch your eye that has kind of joined this like semicircle crowd in front of you. There's about 15 people listening to your story, and one of them is a man who rivals even your own height. He is a human, and he is just absurdly tall for a human. He has deep set, dark skin. He has this brown hair that's kind of long and a dark ponytail over his back, and he's wearing these brown robes with this golden fringe. His eyes are deep set, and he's the kind of individual, I don't know if you've met anyone like this in real life, who is smiling with his mouth, but his eyes are very serious at all times.
Just dead eyes all the time. Oh, yeah, I know someone like that.
Yeah, so he's got his hands crossed in front of you, his ponytail kind of draped over his chest. He seems to be enjoying your story, but again, his eyes are just very unsettling.
And then Kane Jax will end the story like, and then I took me Maul because they took Scream Horror from me, and I smashed the bird brain, and there were bird brains everywhere.
Everybody just, yeah! Callan's like, whoa, more! And the man does not clap, but he kind of nods, approvingly almost.
And I'm gonna lean over to my friends. Do we know who the guy with the creepy eyes is?
No clue.
I can find out.
He gives me the heebie-jeebies.
I don't think so. We can go try to talk to him.
Yeah, you guys, you all probably have never seen him before.
Does he have a like a chapter's pin or anything on, like a chapter's insignia?
He does not, actually. It doesn't rule him out from being a town member, but he's definitely not a part of the chapters, at least.
All right. Blossom will go get a refill with anybody who might want to join her, and will sort of nod towards the guy to Risker and be like, "You have this guy been around here long?"
Sure, you don't know Yuri?
No, I haven't met him.
Oh, yeah, you're the adventuring type, I guess. You probably wouldn't have time for spinning yarns and telling tales.
What's his deal? Seems kind of grumpy.
He's just a little intense, but let me tell you, if you've heard a Yuri story, there's no going back, you know? He owns a shop downtown. It's called Yuri's Yarns. It's kind of like a I don't know, like a dinner theater kind of. It's not even theater. He's just a storyteller. He just kind of, he brings out a chair and he'll tell stories for a few coins to kids. Kids love him. Kids love him. There's people come through just to hear his stories. He's pretty famous. I'm surprised you hadn't met him up to this point. He's friendly enough. Go talk to him. I mean, he's intense, but he'll talk your ear off.
Well, it sounds pretty good to me. Can I give me an extra drink? And Blossom will bring like a drink over to him.
Sure.
Hey there, friend. Thanks for stopping by. I'm glad to see you were enjoying King Jax's great story there.
Sure, you find him. He's kind of sitting at a table in the center of the room. You can't tell if it's just the aura of his presence, but you feel like a little intimidated, and people obviously do as well because they're not really sitting by him, even though he's been described as like a jovial person. He says, "Hello, thank you. I really appreciate the free drink."
Oh yeah, my pleasure. And like, I don't even ask. I will just sit down at the table with him and sort of gesture for. I don't know if anybody was with me. Saren.
Bryn went with you.
Yeah, you too.
He gives like a deep belly laugh, and he's like, "Oh, please have a seat, everyone."
Yeah. Well, I was just talking to Risker. He says you know some really good stories. I'd love to hear if you got any new ones. It's been a while since I heard a new one myself.
Well, I do have many good stories, and Risker had good intel, but I only tell stories during certain times of the day, and I never for more than 5 gold.
Never for more than 5 gold.
Yes, I mean, you must monetize your business, no? You find what you are good at, and you stick with it.
Oh, yeah. No, that was, that's fine. I was just a little, that's fine. When do you usually tell stories? What is your story time, my friend?
I believe I am telling an old classic tomorrow if you want to come by around noon.
That sounds interesting. Is it like a surprise? Can you tell me what it is? I like stories. I heard a lot growing up, so...
Of course, it is the story of Grinner, a classic.
Does Blossom know that story?
The story of Grinner. Make a history check.
I don't know it.
Is it something I would have heard of?
Yeah, you can make a history check too if you want.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, can I as well?
Yep, anyone who wants to.
Oh shit. 23.
23.
Damn.
Grinner is a cautionary tale to young folks about staying away from certain indulgences in the world.
I see. So you're interested in turning the youth away from certain vices, then?
Well, tomorrow I am. I tell stories that I have some familiarity with.
Well, any storyteller will tell a tale that they have knowledge of.
Of course. It is a story about not abusing one's power if they ever find themselves in a seat of power.
Sounds like a good story.
Interesting.
It might actually benefit you the way people are talking about you around here. And he kind of gives a deep belly laugh and looks around at all the people celebrating you all.
I don't trust this guy.
Okay, you can make an insight check.
Yeah, I wanna.
All right.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, go for it. Anyone who wants to.
I mean, Blossom doesn't trust anybody right now, so I'm not gonna bother
12.
rolling.
12.
18.
I mean, you both kind of get the... Again, he's very unsettling. His eyes are very dark and intense. He's a very imposing man, impossibly old and impossibly tall. You do get the sense that everything he's telling you is the truth, but there might be more behind his words that he's not leaving out. He's very cryptic, he's very interesting, and the more you talk to him, you just feel this, like, almost being drawn into him, as if he's telling you a story, and he's a very good storyteller. It's almost like everything he says is in his storytelling mode.
Hate it.
Alright, well, it was a pleasure to meet you all. Please come by Yuri's Yarns. I believe it is, well, he wouldn't know where you live. It's in the southern part of the town, if you are ever around there.
Yeah, that sounds great. So, noon tomorrow. I'll try and check it out. You know, if the festivities don't go too late.
Of course, and cheers to you, Wrong Turns. Thank you for all you do.
Ah, thanks.
Of course. Those of you who rolled insight checks, that last bit is very sarcastic. The thanks for all you do part is,
Hey, we saved the world.
yeah. I know that, okay.
Does he get up and walk away?
No, he does not move.
Don't fight him.
Kane Jax isn't there because he's too busy in the corner. He's like somewhere else in the bar, and he's telling us, and that is how I convinced a man named Motherfucker to not whoop my hiney.
He looks up and he's like, and bring your friend. He has the gift of story as well.
He's got some
He
pretty
certainly
good
has a
stories.
gift for something.
I would ask you all to restrain me, but I don't think it would work. I am just going to walk away.
I need a refill.
You know what? I
just
think I'll
leave.
join you.
Blossom does actually need a refill because she's Blossom. So I'm gonna go.
Do
She's
you want-
Blossom and the drinks are free. So.
Do you want this one? Because I'm not going to drink it.
That sounds good. Thanks.
Yeah.
Should wet the whistle on the way to the bar. Because I still do that.
As soon as we get a safe distance from him, I'm gonna look over at the two and be like, all right, so we don't trust him, right?
Oh,
Definitely not.
not at all, no.
Okay, good.
I mean, can't really trust fucking anybody anymore.
I mean, true, but
I just got, like, a weird energy from him. Normally I'm not someone who goes in for that sort of stuff, but I don't know.
It was weird.
unsettling.
He didn't, try to stab us or something, so if he's gonna fuck us over, that means this is gonna be, so much fucking worse.
Yes, although it would have been pretty stupid to try and stab one of you in the middle of a crowded bar, so...
Would have been fun.
Yeah, it's a
enough.
party that is dedicated to us.
You know, people have done stupider things.
I mean, also, people have done that. Moss was like, it's not the first time someone would have tried to kill us in a bar.
That is true.
Specifically this one. I learned real well.
And Kane Jax will stumble up. Speaking of stupid, it's really stupid. is knowing 4 languages and not being able to read one of them.
You can't read in any of them.
I can read Elven, Dwarvish, and Giant.
That is not what you just said.
Oh, beans.
King Jax.
So, what's the scoop on this this guy?
He's
Saying it
weird.
super loud.
He's just sitting right there.
Seems fine.
Oh, okay. I go like give him like the cheers.
He
We're
tips
gonna
his
see
head
him
slowly.
tell a story tomorrow, maybe.
He has really creepy eyes.
Yeah, I know.
Ooh.
It was weird. Whatever. That's a problem for future us. Beer pong?
I've never heard of that. What is it?
You've. Alright, Saren, come here, baby girl. Blossom makes her way over to Risker and gets a bunch of cups and a big ass pitcher of beer, and we're playing some beer pong.
All right, cool.
I'm gonna slide a few J's across the counter to Risker.
He takes them. He stashes them under the bar. He's like, "I'm working, but later." Throughout the night, as you go on playing your games of beer pong, if you want to roleplay that, all by all means. But you do notice.
I
Go
want
ahead.
to steal some ping pong balls and, like, when Blossom's not looking, toss one into her cup and be like, "Oh, Saren scored!"
Thank you, because I'm terrible at it. I definitely do not do well.
Wait, who is on Kane Jax's team?
Adrian.
Kane Jax will pat Adrian on the shoulder casting guidance every time.
Adrian, just like the
Nelson's
bowling
just
balls
getting
earlier in
hammered.
the day, just chucking them.
Oh, so it's me.
What do you mean I'm supposed to bounce them?
You're supposed to get them in the cut, not through them.
One of the times when one's about to go and Kane Jax just uses Thunder Wave to just blow everything away.
Everyone in the bar just tips over. As you were all playing beer pong and enjoying this rare
I
moment
don't
of
understand
friendship,
what the problem was.
you do look over, and Anissa and Shay, the 2 bounty hunters that came for you, are just watching you in the bar, having a drink. Anissa kind of winks at you, and she's like, "Hey, sweet peas," and she just kind of waves a little bit from the corner.
Kane Jax is just giving the big just hi.
They're weird
She-
too, right?
She's like the opposite of him.
Yeah, but like just as unsettling.
Right. Yes, it's like a full circle. They're both so extreme, they've met in the middle again.
Yeah.
Do you think if we like had to meet, the room would like explode?
I think that would be like
We
putting...
like open a portal to the abyss or something.
That's
if,
what I'm
like,
thinking,
They
yes.
get within like 5 feet of each other.
It's like trying to put a bag of holding inside a bag of holding.
Oh shit! Wait, you're not supposed to do that?
What? No,
I don't
don't do
fucking have
that.
one, but that's good to know. What about like a portable hole?
don't do that.
Noted. Good to know. Hey, I forgot to ask. Did I know I got pretty shitty last night? Kenny Jackson, did we send a message to somebody last night?
Oh yeah, we totally sent a message to Cal.
All right,
Oh, by the way,
that happened then.
Blossom, if you have a moment, Kane Jax is gonna pull Blossom aside. So now that I understand a few words, so the Skane Witch, you know how the Skane Witch like screamed a Stormheart at me? Do you remember that little bit?
Yeah, I heard that.
And then y'all mentioned something about oh boy, I'm picking up y'all. I've been hanging out with you too much. Y'all mentioned something about the Stormheart being on that family tree, right?
Yeah, I think Brennan said that was one of the names she saw.
Oh beans. Do you remember how I mentioned that I was begrudgingly betrothed to someone back home?
Yeah.
Do you know what their last name is? Kane Jax is just very, like, nervous.
I think I could hazard a guess, King Jax.
You're always very smart, Blossom. This is why we're friends.
Yep, that's me. I'm the smart one.
By the way, I do like the new nerd. She's really nice. Anyway. Yeah, so that's bad news.
Yeah. Wait. So like that's her name. That's like her family name, I guess, her clan name.
Yes. And it was gonna be like big alliance marriage. That's why I was kind of roped into this whole thing.
That's definitely not good.
We should break up with her. Well, I should.
I mean, like, yeah, you can't fucking like marry somebody. I mean, what if she's fucking been working with Thunder too?
And the creepy vampire people.
And the creepy vampire people. Yeah,
And
no,
perhaps-
this is, they're not vampire. And anyway,
And then Saren mentioned something about someone stealing a library. What happens if it was her? Maybe she stole the library.
that would be fucked up.
All right, and that immediately makes her an enemy of Bryn and Saren combined.
It's true. Although also a little bit cooler.
A little cool. Yeah, stealing a library would be like the greatest heist ever.
I
Am I right?
Am I in auditory distance of this?
King Jack's
Yeah,
pretty
we're like,
loud.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, I'm not a quiet
I
individual.
mean, anybody can steal a few books, but like stealing a fucking building, I don't even like. My family hasn't done
Oh.
that shit.
They destroyed the library and destroyed the books. There was nothing good about it.
Oh,
Oh, that's
Pete,
less impressive then.
That's not impressive. Anyway,
Like, you know, if they could have done like when you like pull a tablecloth off a table and everything's still there, but with books.
perhaps we could steal a library someday. We make really bad decisions like that all the time. Maybe
Add
I've
it
had
to the
a
list.
maybe I've had a little bit too much of.
Like, no,
Anyway.
I can't steal a library. I gotta be better now.
Anyway, Blossom,
Yeah.
I need your help. We're gonna get 3 more of these big muggers, and then we're gonna break up with my betrothed.
I'm not sure. I mean, I think it is a good idea to break up, but I think when we do it, it's gotta be like a better plan.
I lean over
like-
to Saren and Adrian. Should we do something about this?
I honestly don't know.
Cause like their clan is all the way on the other, like on Albion, right? What if like you end things and she like, I don't know, if they like hurt your family or something.
Honestly.
Floridan! What was that, Sarah?
I was just going to say, I think relationships are for fools who have nothing else to do with their time.
I mean, I agree.
Oof.
It's an interesting take from you both. Maybe breaking up with a woman from like across an ocean is maybe a bad idea, especially if you're drunk.
I mean, I think it sounds like an amazing idea.
Thank you! She's working with the bingo poppers!
That's what I'm trying to say. Breaking up with her, great idea. Doing it right now, drunk in a message, bad idea.
Yeah, like so I've never had a girlfriend before, but
We could change
like a
that
bad
for you.
idea.
I have
But,
also
like an
never had a
evil
girlfriend before.
girlfriend.
Okay, well, we don't know that she's evil, and you shouldn't marry her if you don't love her. So you will have to break up with her, like, eventually.
Fringe,
Well-
they're the name. She's on the family trees.
That's true.
Pretty
mean,
fucking evil, as far as I'm
if-
concerned.
If her last name is something that the Skein Witch yelled at you, I mean, why don't you use the relationship you have as her betrothed to get information? And then once you have the information, then you can break up with her. Because if you break up with her first and then ask for information, she's going to be less likely to give it to you.
True. Well, then again, she doesn't really like me in the first place.
Well, she's really not going to like you if you break up with her over what message sending?
Yeah.
Well, brain message, yeah. Brain text.
You don't got like a
No,
date or something set?
Well, I went to do missionary work, and that's what they made my.
Yeah. But
Well,
like,
So it's a
well,
long engagement then.
So that's why their engagement went down this gutter. He only
Oh,
does
like-
missionary.
if it's like a
Oh, wait! I thought.
Whoa.
Please, no, Shield Mom. Please, you're like a mother to me. Please, no.
Blossom was actually about to make an actual like point, and then Adrian says that, and her mind just is sort of like broken for a minute. You know, this is just like, oh shit, my mom just said that.
Yeah.
Gross,
Your
Mom.
mother!
What?
Nothing. Anyway.
And for your, never mind. I don't need to divulge the intimate details of my life to you.
Nah, later. But no, if shit, I totally lost. I actually did totally lose track of what the hell I was gonna say.
I
It
apologize.
was a valid point too.
So
Shit.
good.
Well, Sarah, I do like this idea of using my relationship to gain intelligence, though it does seem a little skeezy, and I would be peeved if someone did that to me.
Well, you'd also be peeved if someone broke up with you via sending.
But I don't know which would you prefer?
I mean, my go-to will always be get as much information out of someone as you can, and then once they've outlived their usefulness, then you discard them.
Well, that seems rather...
Okay, I had to go check my alignment for a second. Well, that feels maybe not great.
That's
Maybe,
how the
like-
world works, unfortunately.
Well, it doesn't have to.
That's how
Anyway,
my world
the-
works.
The point is, we don't even know if she A, knows anything, or B, is actually working with them. And also, she's across the ocean, so, like, we have time to figure it out.
I feel like we don't want to tip our hat too soon to anybody
And
knowing that
what
we
if-
know.
What if she finds out about Keith?
Well, then maybe she'll.
So there
break
is
up with
something
you.
going on.
Well, no, there's nothing going on that I know of, but
Oh,
Keith
wait,
is a
how
gentleman and a scholar, yes.
I'm not gonna ask how something could go on that you wouldn't know about.
Yeah.
I
No,
mean,
not gonna
just
touch that.
gestures.
Look, that boat ride, it was a long time ago, okay?
Damn it! I really wish I could remember what I was going to say.
I'm so sorry.
No, it was so worth it.
It's so worth it.
Yeah. Fuck, what was my... I had a horrible, horrible theory. Now it's gone.
All right. Well, as you all.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, go ahead.
So, Kendrix has a relationship with an arch existence, yeah?
Yeah, he's my best friend.
Your, like, brother or whatever.
Live bro.
And the Stormhearts are part of this strange family thing that is attempting to, I suppose, end Arch Existence influence and replace them with Agora, essentially. Is she trying to use you to get to your plans?
The Kane Jax goes like galaxy brain for a moment.
That would actually make a lot of sense.
Now I gotta break it off right away now. Now that
No,
the
Not
brains are...
right
She's
away.
using you, use her back.
That just doesn't...
Also, that's just a theory. Like, we can't prove it.
Like, so then, Saren, let me pull... Never mind, we don't have time to unpack all of that.
It is better to have information and not need it than to need it and not have it.
Alright, fine, I'll send her a message asking how she's doing, send her little, like, flower emoji things. Yes, I can do that over
Yeah,
message.
be all like, oh, shit's been crazy. Hope you're okay.
And don't accidentally mention Keith.
Don't.
Or just maybe you don't talk to her.
But
Also,
we
probably better.
but we need information.
We'll do
Not
it tomorrow
yet.
when you're not drunk.
Yeah, still across an ocean.
We can get information some other way.
Yes, it's like I have just the spell for that. Oh, by the way, Blossom, I did learn some new fancy magic recently. After I experienced the bell, I felt very enlightened.
Is it
Perhaps
that?
Boolin's coming back.
Did you get some like weird stuff or something? Like
How do you feel about
Careful.
scrying things? Perhaps we could use that.
Scrying? How does it work?
I'm reading it right now, even though I can't read common.
I'm communing with Boolin right now.
Basically, I can just find a bunch of stuff. Yep, okay.
Basically, you just scry on a place or person, and you get
Yeah.
to see them, and they make a save, basically.
But,
I
like,
could use new magic to... I think Saren will dig this idea. We could spy on her with magic.
You know how to scry.
Well, I just learned, I don't know, I felt really enlightened after our recent experience. Like, I gained a level or something.
I don't know what that means, but...
No, go ahead, Sarah.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, if you think scrying will work, do you think she would be able to notice if you were scrying on her?
Yeah, or tell who it was.
Well, if she can, like, surpass certain resolve mental barrier things, perhaps, but She's gonna have to have a very steeled mind to get past old Canejax and the 17 save DC.
Will she know that it's you, though?
Probably. And then I could just use the excuse, I was just checking up on you, baby.
I
It's
missed
okay.
you, yeah.
Yeah, I missed you, sweetie.
There you go. Can you use that for, like, to look on, like, anybody?
Well, yeah, as long as they're here and not in the Feywild. Like, if Saren went back to the Feywild, they wouldn't be able to find Saren.
You have to be on
Right.
the same plane of existence, essentially.
So you wouldn't be able to, like, make sure Cal is, like, still alive?
No, unfortunately. I'm sure he's okay. You know,
But would you be able to try looking in on my mom?
Maybe. It's
How
something I
well-
might be able to do, yeah.
It would depend on how well you know her.
Oh,
also-
he's never met her.
I'm also going to need really expensive things. Perhaps we should raid the chapters for maybe, I don't know, a crystal ball.
We can do some shopping tomorrow.
Or if I can just go into that old temple, I could just, like, make that whole fountain, just make it all holy water. I guess that could be a project.
Do you have to, like, have met the person, or do you just need to, like, know what they look like, or...
Basically, the more detailed the description you have of the person, and if you have like a physical piece or something that they owned, the stronger the connection. And the stronger a connection, the easier it is to scry on someone.
Alright. Shit, I don't have anything from anymore. I'll have to think about it. But, I don't know, King Jax, do you think we could try that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm down to try anything once.
I'll have to, yeah. Not right now. I don't think it's a good idea. I've been drinking too much.
Alright, so the night winds on. Familiar faces all around come up and give you hugs, and it truly is a big thank you party to you all. Yeah, it's just a very nice atmosphere. There's not a cranky person in sight. Even the other chapter members who don't know you that well are kind of, yes, they're thanking you, but they're also celebrating being home from war. They're respecting the fallen and celebrating that they get to live another day. There's a few somber moments when, people do celebrate the people who have fallen and thank them for their time in the chapters. And there's probably a cheesy speech that Kit gives as the leader about how they're turning the next page and things like that into a new chapter. But for the majority of the night, it is a very heartfelt celebration. The majority of you probably wake up strewn about the Dryad's Den, if you even made it to the Dryad's Den. And
I'd like it on the record that Bryn did not drink.
Sure, yeah. Bryn, you wake up just fine. You're feeling good. The rest of you, probably a little bit hungover. Some of you more than others. But you wake up to another beautiful day in the chapters.
Blossom had, like, fallen asleep, like, half in her tree. Like, she had started to climb up and then maybe, like, fell asleep and just kind of slid back down.
So I think bowling was successful yesterday.
Are you asking me?
Nope, just like
Okay.
a general statement. Just like maybe we should go bowling again.
What's bowling?
You have a really heavy ball and you throw it at stuff. Okay, you're not supposed to throw it at stuff. I learned that. You're supposed to roll it at stuff.
Yeah, I think they frown upon it, like,
Yeah.
just chucking the balls everywhere.
Yeah. Yep. I learned that.
Balls everywhere.
Nice.
You're still drunk.
Yeah, did you wanna try to, I don't know, check on, your betrothed this morning, King Jax?
Oh, I suppose we could see how old Aya Stormheart's doing. See how she's being traitory.
I mean, maybe she'll be like, with Persephone and Victor or something, and we'll get some clue to what the fuck those assholes are up to.
Watch, she's
Charming
become
bastards.
buddy buddy with your dad. Watch, that'll make it even more fun.
Alright, like... Oh man, that would be terrible. Fuck.
Yeah, it would be, but your dad's just such a nice guy, you know. I would like hang out with him and old Randy. Like they sound like a good.
My dad is supposed to be with your clan, though, so if
True.
they've met, that can't be a good thing.
Oh, Beans.
Although, actually, they might have fucking met anyway if she's working with Thunder.
We could try.
Scrying? Okay.
Can I find like a crystal ball somewhere? Like I need like it's 1,000 gold piece, freaking.
I mean, sure.
Or do you want me to spend 1,000 gold pieces on a component? I'll do it.
It says or holy water. I mean, you can definitely find a fountain of holy water.
All right, we're gonna do that. I'm gonna go find it. Also, by the way, since I
think he could make his own too.
Yeah, I know. I get it.
A while.
I'm reading it too.
So since Aya is like pretty familiar with King Jax, you know, like I would say I know her pretty well. I'm betrothed. That's a -5.
Yeah, that's a -1.
Oh, she don't know. I am conducting. I am the NSA. Call Edward Snowden.
Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
Jesus Christ, that's King Jax.
So King Jax, you sit down. You probably go outside just to feel a little bit closer to Bulin.
Yeah.
You summon your frosty powers and wield them as you're kind of sitting in front of the pond out back, and your mind flies up into the clouds all the way across the ocean back to Albion.
Oh, nice and cold. I like it here.
Your gaze kind of shifts down through the clouds, through the mountains, the snowy peaks, and they seem to go on forever. Your mind narrows in like a little bead of light, and you see Aya Stormheart. She's shorter than King Jax, quite short for a furbog, but extremely muscular. She is wearing traveling leathers, and she has hide armor on, just kind of thrown over her shoulders. She has a pack, a leather pack that she's carrying. She has strikingly beautiful features. She has these purple deep eyes and this strong jaw, and she is walking what appears to be through banks of snow, which isn't out of character. What's out of character is what you see in front of her. She is traveling with at least 20-30 other furbolgs, and in front of her you see a small town, a town you know well, your hometown.
Oh no!
There are buildings made of rock and moss kind of growing out of them, which is strange because it's so snowy and cold up here, but somehow that works. And in front of them you see a little welcoming party, King Jax, your mother, at the front.
Beans.
And she walks up to Aya and she's like, "Well, hello, dear. It's so nice to see you again." And she shakes Aya's hand, and Aya, "Yes, it's lovely to see you, mother. Thank you so much for taking us in. Our village was raided by stone giants, or frost giants, sorry. But we can't win them all, can we?" And they kind of have like a short chuckle. And then you see your mother turn around, and Aya puts her arm around your mom and walks towards the first house you see.
Insight check.
Yeah, go for it.
That is 24.
Ooh, damn. She's hard to read, even with the 24. She rolled well as well, but there is. You know her pretty well. You've spent at least time with her in civil discussions, and you can kind of tell when she's lying. You've seen her lie to elven clans before that kind of populate around your village, and she's not telling the entire truth.
And that's when King Jax will be like, "I knew it!"
What's up?
Did you say?
So King Jax gathers all the friends. She's at me home. She's hanging out with me mom, and she says, "Frost giants attacked me clan." I don't buy it for 1 minute.
Oh no! Wait, she's at your home, but I don't know, not like attacking or anything, right?
No, they're like she's saying she's hanging out with mom, but I don't like it. I don't trust it.
Yeah.
But did she seem aggressive at all?
No, it was like typical. "Oh, hi, mom. How are you?"
Ugh.
But do you think she was being deceptive in some way? Do you know about what?
I don't think frost giants actually attacked their village. I think they're looking for an excuse to come hang out in my village. I've seen her lie to elves before. It was the same vibe I was getting.
I don't know. Is there someone back home you can or wanna warn? Maybe.
Adrian.
Bulin or?
Oh, Abby, I thought you were trying to say something. Sorry. Oh, I could tell Bulin. I don't. Maybe Thoradin, me brother. I don't know.
Who do
Maybe
you
I can-
trust to not tell her?
Bulin wouldn't tell her. That's for sure.
Then you should send a warning.
He'd know
right.
to keep his guard up at least.
Sending message. Bulin, I is a lying bean.
Whoa, strong language.
Whoa.
Well, normally, King Jax, I would ask how you know this, but I just trust you implicitly. I always knew she was bad. I really liked Aurora more. You should get back with Aurora.
Oh, beans. Okay, we don't have time for that right now. She's a married woman now.
I will keep an eye on her. What would you have me do? How serious is this?
Let's just say she might be with bad. She's working for bad people. She might be related to them.
You got it. I will smite her. Just kidding. That's a joke. I will see you soon. You focus on that. I will take care of Aurora. Aya. Sorry. You will take care of Aurora. High five. And that's the last thing.
High five, like K-Jax high fives the air.
Shit. I don't like that. I feel like it's not good. Like something's happening, you know? Right? Anybody else get the feeling like something's happening?
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
like when things happen.
This is not good.
I'm gonna try and check on Cal. If he was in hell and Thunder like got control of him again, that would be something good to know.
Is he in another plane?
I mean, that's what I was fucking drunk as shit last night, or the night, not before. Now it's all fucking blending together now. Fuck, we haven't even been here that long. Yeah, no, when we first got back, right? King Jack sent him a message, and you said he was in hell, right? I mean, please tell me that was just like a fucking fever whiskey dream. Someone? No? Feeler? All right.
So, I have this spell that I can cast ritually, and I can contact entities in different planes.
Oh,
Well, that's
Like-
probably illegal, but who are we to throw stones?
I mean, going to different planes is illegal. I don't think speaking to them is it? I don't fucking know. Do I know?
Yeah, it's a gray area.
Yeah, my favorite.
Yeah.
That means it's fine.
I'm all about grey areas.
All right, so,
it's my favorite
mean,
color of area.
but I mean, does that mean the sending thing won't work? Because that was what K-Jax did, right?
So, if you're directly contacting someone, they have to be on the same plane of existence as you in order for the message to go through. Or I think there's a certain capacity that the level, or Kate's a little drunk, so words are hard.
Nice.
There's a certain, you have to have a certain strongness of mind in order for a message to get through.
I mean, just say I'm looking at the spell.
There's
there's
a chance
there's
it'll
a
fail.
yeah, there's a chance it'll fail, but otherwise, you can send a message across any distance and even to other planes of existence. But if the target is on a different plane, there's a 5% chance the message doesn't arrive.
Right.
That might, I mean,
Does what you do? Does that definitely work? Do you need to know the person?
it definitely works, but there is, I don't need to know the person, but there could be side effects, such as I might lose my sanity temporarily.
What spell is this?
It's called Contact of the Plane.
That seems intense.
I mean, how desperate are you to get answers?
I mean, it'd be really good to know, but maybe I can try and send it this way, and then I don't know. Do you know if I would know, like, if it doesn't work right? If I try just like the sending? Because I just got this thing and I like flick the circlet.
Here's the question about this particular spell. It is to contact a, quote, mysterious entity from another plane. Is Cal a mysterious entity from another plane? I mean,
Is to me.
he's not...
That
like,
scans. We don't actually
don't
know
actually-
what he is. He is kind of a mystery.
I
That's
don't
why
know
he
who
went
he is.
back.
Eh,
Oh yeah,
okay,
Saren's
yeah, I
like
think
kind of working
it might
with
work. I don't know if it's worth the risk. Maybe try
half a
Nettie
story
first.
right now.
And if that does not work,
We'll save it as we'll keep it in our back pocket.
Yeah.
It's an option.
You said you can do that as like a ritual too, though, right? So
I can.
won't, like be like wasting any of your power in case like I don't know, fucking Breezy comes back to kill me or something, right? All right.
Correct. It will take me around 10 minutes to cast it, but
All right. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm sure it's fun. You know, that's not really a concern. I say nervously, looking around at like the doors and windows real quick. All right, I'll give this a try then. I don't know if it feels like it didn't work. Maybe we can try that, but
okay.
I don't want you like going crazy or something trying to reach him.
It's only temporary, and then you all will have to help me go to sleep, and then when I wake up again, I'll be okay.
All right. I'm pretty sure we could manage that somehow. Let's hope it doesn't come to that though.
Fingers crossed.
All right. Blossom takes a swig from her flask, and then we'll try and activate the circlet. And I'm gonna try and message Cal. I don't know if it'll work.
All right, roll a percentile dice.
Yikes.
Oh,
I don't know if
no.
I want high or low.
You want high?
It's a 21.
Ooh, that's not high.
21, it passes. What would you like to say?
Shit. All right. So Blossom will say, "Hey, it's Blossom. Are you alive? How can we get to you? What happened? Just hang on. We won't leave you there. I promise. Don't die, okay?" I'm out of words.
He says, definitely alive. Came here of my own volition. Trying to find out what happened to me. Not a nice place. Would not recommend coming to get me. I'll be fine. Don't die, okay?
All right. Well, it worked. He says he's alive. He says not to come get him, though. And he says he came of his own volition, so I guess I don't have to murder Ton.
But we
That's
could. It'd be a fun story arc.
But I kind
Definitely
of kick the
could.
ground.
You definitely could.
I mean, I've still got
Throw
some
it
fucking words for him. That's for sure.
listen, I am on board for killing Ton. I hate that guy.
I also hate that guy. Let's do it.
I, by association, now hate the guy.
King Jax.
You know what? Yeah, he would. Yeah. Screw him.
Fuck.
Oh, are we gonna kill him? Nice.
And we kill
I
Ton.
don't know. I don't trust him. I'm still not
I don't know.
entirely sure he didn't fucking sell us out to the general.
I saved his life in a past life, and that might be a waste of my effort. I almost died to do that.
Well, that sounds like a Lucy problem. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know what to do now. I don't want to just fucking leave Cal in hell. Doesn't seem fucking right. Like,
Well,
that's
there's
not
one
a good place. He
slight-
specifically said that.
slight problem. Remember how Scream Hoarder was like, "Go to hell. It's a good time."
Yeah, I do remember that.
That's where Scream Hoarder wants to be. We should not bring Scream Hoarder where Scream Hoarder wants to be.
Well, for sure, but I mean, Scream Hoarder lives in my hole, so... Yeah,
King
Sam
Jack's
said it
trying
that
not to
way.
be immature. Like, yup, he lives in the hole. All right.
Blossom looks a little disappointed that nobody decided to take the bait. We'll just keep the conversation going. Just a little deflated, like, oh, all right.
Could we leave it,
think I-
whatever, here before we go after Cal?
I like the idea of leaving Scream Hoarder unprotected here, even less.
Yeah, considering
Oh,
I
though I do actually maybe have an idea about that too.
For
So I'm
context, Kate and everyone else watching, Scream Hoarder is a
Thank you.
magical sword that is trying to take over King Jax's mind.
Oh,
King
yeah.
Jax explains it somewhere in there.
okay.
So,
Oh,
okay, so it's a
we
sword.
had to
that-
confiscate it from
It's a
him.
sword that eats souls, and it was like, "Hey, King Jax, buddy, I'll take good care of you. Now go to hell."
Has like a thrall.
okay.
All right, so remember that whole like bit we were telling you about the other night? How my aunta Rakshasa,
Yeah.
when we murdered her, she had like this portal thing that was like open to hell apparently, and we closed it. But before we closed it, this Scream Hoarder sword kind of briefly controlled King Jax's mind and tried to get him to walk through with it.
Oh,
So he's not allowed to play with Scream Hoarder anymore, and I like look sternly at King Jax.
I do kind of miss him. At
No,
some
you
point.
don't.
oh dear. Well,
Yeah.
I felt powerful, like Spider-Man in black suit.
like who?
I felt powerful, like old the mythic hero from Furbolgs. He is very well known because his suit of armor made him powerful.
I see. And what is his association with spiders?
Oh, I'm not really sure.
I
That's
think
just
it's that he was like afraid of spiders, right?
I think it was cursed or something. I don't know.
probably.
No, I thought he had spider climb. This like you could cast that at the will.
Ah, is that what the armor did?
It was the
heavy
boots.
armor that lets you spider climb.
It was the
That'd actually be pretty
sabatons.
awesome.
All right, so let's take
Spider
a break
climb
right
on.
here, and we will we'll get back into our day. We've got maybe Yuri's yarns to go to, and whatever else the Wrong Turns is gonna get up to. So we'll
We're
be
gonna
right
murder
back.
someone.
You're not
Drat.
murdering Ton. Bye.
Murder.
Murder.
back. Thanks everybody for
Hello.
hanging with us through the break.
And thank you, Indigo Chameleon, for the raid while we were
Absolutely.
away at break. But we're here now. Thank you for
around.
waiting. We're worth it.
So anyways, we're here at least, at the very least. So yes, the Wrong Turns are just having a nice breakfast as they scried upon Kangjax's betrothed and realized that she was now with Kangjax's mother. Take it away, group.
Which is worse than it sounds.
No, it's chill.
It's fine. Probably all fine.
Well,
Okay, so like, are we gonna go see Marsaurus? Or
Oh, yeah, we'd love to help him out.
we gotta talk to Kid, I guess. I mean, maybe she has a way to get us there really quickly, or get somebody there really quickly. I don't know.
I'm gonna have to find a babysitter.
How old is this kid again?
10.
Oh, okay, yeah, I guess that's not a bad idea. I don't know. Maybe Heaven's around and can like keep an eye on him. Not a bad idea to have like a healer on hand just in case something's
Yeah.
wrong.
Sounds like
yeah.
a plan.
Why don't we go? We can go ask her. Actually, what time is it? If we wanted to swing by Yuri's and, you know, for story time, we can do that.
It's 11:45. Look at that.
Oh man.
oh shit, we're gonna be late. Let's go, chop chop, people.
Maybe Callan will like hearing a story too. We could take him.
Yeah, stories are fine.
Yeah, that's good for kids.
Yep. Kids like stories.
Alright, so you head out the door, you gather your things, gather Callan, and you head to the southern part of town where Yuri's Yarn sits. It is a peculiarly shaped, semicircular building. Inside there is basically what would be just a theater. There's a little stage, but it's like a crescent moon shaped stage. It's not big, and it's in a way it fits the room nicely where it doesn't seem like the main attraction. There's also like dining tables on the other end that may be like a little restaurant, and just like, you know, home style cooking goes on here. Nothing special, but nice. And it feels very cozy. There are people gathering outside. Who would be notable to y'all? Heaven is here. She's the Asimar cleric. She has long white hair and glowing white eyes. She is very tall and slender, and she seems to be wearing the crest of Paylor, who is her self-proclaimed father. She claims that she is an actual child of Paylor, not a metaphorical one, but that's to be debated. Yeah, she is here, and she has taken a seat close to the back, and she's just enjoying time listening to the tales people tell. You get the sense that like other storytellers come here, and they kind of like almost open for Yuri. But it is quite crowded. It's starting to fill up a little bit. There's some seats in the back few rows.
We will
Those
go
get a
take
seat.
those.
Okay.
They like do the thing where kids can sit up front,
Yeah. Heck yeah,
like on
they
the
do.
floor. Okay.
Yeah. Man, you guys have such great ideas. Of course they do that, Adrian.
Sure.
Like
yeah,
story time at Barnes and Noble.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like King Jack's time. Yeah, so there's a few little kids. There's a little dwarven girl and the little elven girl that half of you saw in the kids section the day before. And they're kind of sitting up there with like their mom and dad. Their dads are just kind of like holding their hands.
Okay, you go up there. You sit with the other children.
Okay, where are you gonna be?
I'm gonna be all the way back here with the adults.
But why don't you sit with me?
I am not a children.
That checks out. He kind of sits down cross-legged.
Kane Jax is sitting with the children.
Perfect.
Like, super, like, and he's just as, like, excited about these stories as everyone
Are you
else.
like letting the kids like play on you? Like,
Oh, of course, yeah, they're
little
probably, like,
giant
sitting-
uncle?
They're probably, like, sitting on his shoulders and everything.
I'm gonna lean into Bren. I have half in mind to have King Jax take notes to write out in common the words that he knows.
That's a bad idea.
Y'all are
King
so
Jax.
mean.
King Jax!
Taking it too far.
Yes, alright, you're gonna have to wait here now, young child, and you too, what was your name again? Timmy. Oh, yes, what is it?
And in parchment, hand him a quill.
Work. You have a project?
Um,
Will be graded.
am I doing a caricature?
No,
No.
you're
Oh.
going to write down the words that you know in the story in common.
Oh, beans.
If it helps you, you may write them first in Elvish, but you must translate them to common.
What happens if they talk really fast and I can't even write that fast?
Just pick out a word, any word, more impressive the better.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. You two are the experts on writing common, so I'm gonna trust you that this is going to be the work.
Yes, you're putting work in. I'll buy you a drink when you're done.
Okay, yes, now I'm down.
King
That's
Jackson,
all you had to say.
retake your seat with the children. Callan kind of doesn't like snuggle up next to you, but definitely sits close to you, next to you. And the storyteller, a young dwarven adult, finishes her story about the War of the Gods, a classic story told across the land. And she finishes up, and then there is a silence, and the doors are shut by like the attendants that work here. There are 3 doors into this like theater area, and all 3 of them are shut at the same time. A little eerie, and it's very dark for a second, until there is a bright flame on the stage of purple fire, and it kind of lights the entire chamber, lining the back edge of the stage. You see Yuri, the man before, tall, dark skin, dark hair, imposing figure, steely eyes, walks out onto the stage, and he says, "Well, thank you all for coming. It is not often that you get to tell stories with everyone back in town, but I am honored to be here today." And he slowly walks over, people clap a little bit, like kind of like a hushed clap, and he takes a wooden, shoddily made chair, flips it over and sits on the back of it, basically. The interesting part, though, is he does not sit in the center stage like you would assume, but he actually sits on the edge of one of the crescent moon corners of it, and he leaves the center of the stage open. He begins his story, and he says, "Long ago on the continent of Amalar, the High Elves ruled the land, and as he does this, he begins casting spells and weaving through the air. And you watch as in the center of the stage, these illusions of elven people living in this far-off black iron castle are made in front of you. All the kids kind of leap for joy. King Jack's, like, one of them like bumps into you because they're so excited. And they are thrilled to see Yuri's illusions today. The High Elves ruled the land in the fire-charred mountains, lording over the fiery landscape. A noble came to power one day, Charin, the first of his name, and before you see an attractive, sharp-featured, pale-skinned high elf with long blonde hair, a classic-looking high elf, wearing black plate mail, and he has a shining sword at his side. Charin was cruel to all rich and poor alike. One fateful day, Lord Charin was surveying his land, and an elderly woman stumbled and fell into the dirt-covered streets right in front of him. Charin laughed and kicked more dirt at her, and spoke. "The clumsy are killed in Amalar." But this was no ordinary woman, and he essentially creates the illusion of a hag, a bitter old woman with warts and scars across her face. Charin was cursed by the hag. As she sneered up at the terrible lord, Charin's bones began showing through his flesh, and his lips were flayed so that he may never speak again. And Charin twists in front of you into this disgusting figure. His bones start to show through his skins, and he's incredibly gaunt and thin. Some say he still roams the lands, doling out his eternal rage. He has earned the name Grinner, as his teeth are always bared, no skin upon his lips. Beware the smiling man, riding the skeletal horse. And with that, he shows this large skeletal horse on the stage that grows impossibly large and swells and takes up the entire stage with this gaunt skeletal figure and these barred teeth. They almost look like steel. They're made out of metal almost. And all the kids are hiding behind King Jax now. Everybody else has let out like audible gasps. And there's like a row of kids just behind King Jax. And King Jax, you're doing whatever.
I'm writing.
Yeah.
Taking notes like a good boy.
And
I'm actually trying to write and keep up.
And one thing to note is that Yuri draws out his sentences much more than I did, and he has made this an entire performance. Like, word by word, he is weaving illusions through the air to display what is going on. I rushed it along for brevity, but that is essentially what you do. You have like a 10-minute story time, and you're all strangely enthralled with this. In fact, I need you all to make a wisdom saving throw.
I was gonna say,
Oh.
while this is going on, can I wanted to pay attention to what was going on around us.
Sure. There's
At 20!
nice. There's no real funny business, but you being familiar with magic know that he is casting illusions, and some of them have effects beyond just being an illusion.
26.
Counterspell.
You could probably counterspell a few of them, but it's like an ongoing thing every time he casts.
Fuck.
It depends how
No,
many
I won't
spell
do it.
slots you want to burn on it, I guess.
Nah, it's
Okay.
fine. It's not worth it.
Ruin the show, why don't you, Saren?
Listen,
Synthetic 20.
I cast illusions. I don't like having illusions cast on me. And what was it?
Wisdom.
Wisdom. Synthetic 20.
Okay, Adrian?
I was rolling something. I thought everyone else was rolling something.
Nope, wisdom
Everybody.
save.
Ah, fuck. Yep. 17.
Okay, you all resist the effect. And Saren and Bryn, I will give you both that it's not so much a charming effect as it is used just to enthrall the audience. He's not really being malicious with his magic. He's just making it more of a performance, maybe so kids can focus on him better, and he really just brings in the audience and makes them feel a part of the story. All of you resist the effects. You're not charmed or enthralled in any way, and you can go about listening how you please, but one thing is constant is that he is a very attentive storyteller, and you really feel like you're a part of what's going on. In fact, when he ends, and the skeletal horse drifts away, you almost kind of snap back into what is your reality instead of what you just saw. People clap, he takes his chair, and he goes back behind the purple curtains behind the stage.
Rules are umlaut LS.
Oh. I'll lean over to Sarah and go, that was interesting.
But mildly.
You felt it too, right?
Oh, I did. I didn't appreciate it one bit. The fact that he has that magic and uses it to tell stories, I doubt that's the only thing he's using it for.
No.
I don't like
Still,
it.
he didn't hurt anyone.
That we know of. I'm going to try something. Bryn, do you mind looking over King Jax's work for me? I do owe him a drink if he did his work properly.
Certainly.
Wonderful.
It looks like this. For those who are not watching and are just listening, or those who cannot see, it is very poor handwriting, and a lot of words are misspelled. High Elves is Hi Elves, not elves, elves. Rules is a variation of ROOL, or RO with an umlaut L. And let's see, Noble is NOBEL. Also, anytime the word B was used, he just puts the letter B in there.
Okay, well, I pull out a red pen and set to work.
Oh. Did I do good? And he's like got the puppy dog. Like, did I do good?
A valiant effort, Canejax, but you have misspelled this, most of the words, actually.
Oh,
But you're getting the phonetics right.
yes.
That's true, it is a start.
And you're basing it off of all phonetic alphabets. So it would stand to reason that you would have trouble with that. Excuse me one moment, I'll be right back. I'm going to go find a dark corner and cast invisibility on myself.
Hey.
Easy enough to do.
Sweet. I'm a follow. What's his face?
So
Tendency of doing that. Sorry, guys.
so you kind of go back and you kind of peel the curtains back that run across the entire back of the stage, as a normal curtain would, and you kind of peek behind it, and there's like a long hallway off to the right of the building, which are like maybe dressing rooms or something like that.
Are they open? Closed?
The door to the hallway is open, but the doors themselves, there's about 4 of them, are not open.
Okay. I'm going to walk past each one and just kind of put my ear to the doors.
Okay.
And listen for people inside.
Sure. There's 1 on the left, 2 on the right. All 3 of those are empty. You don't hear anything, excuse me. And then the one on the the back is like straight ahead where the curve would end. And that one is, you hear muttering in another language. I don't know if you speak Dwarven, but he is muttering in Dwarven.
I don't speak Dwarven. That's rather disappointing. Okay.
And it is Yuri for sure. Same timbre, same pitch. Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'll leave it alone.
Okay.
I'll
Walk back
come
out?
back. Yeah.
Okay.
And then as soon as I get back to the party, I'll drop invisibility.
Okay.
Things seem quiet. I checked on him. He was mumbling in Dwarven. But that was about all I got. I didn't want to do anything on my own because that tends to not go well for me.
Yeah.
Well, you've got
Was
friends
it
now.
Had
just-
some mood.
Yeah. Was it just him, or was he speaking to somebody else?
I only heard his voice. So there might have been another person, but I only heard him.
Callan runs up and he's like, and then like the Grinner was over there, and then he was on that big horse. Did you see it, Auntie?
Yeah. Oh man, that was intense. Oh boy.
Can we come back for the next one?
Yeah, sure. As
Sick.
long as I'm here.
Sick.
Nice. So, was thinking, if I have to leave again, would you like to stay with Heaven, hang out with her, just chill out until I come back? Does that sound like a plan?
I mean, if she's got time.
Okay, good. Then I'll make sure that you're here and safe. We'll be a-okay, coolio beans.
Yeah, I mean, I should probably go back to school at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, I would recommend that. Definitely.
If you need a tutor, Saren and Bryn are great teachers.
They really are. They're a little harsh though.
They did teach me common. Look, and he holds up it. All the just red
Just
everywhere.
covered in redding.
Ajax, you've been studying for 3 hours?
I'm not sure.
He did it for half a day.
Yeah, most of yesterday.
It was pretty good for half a day's work.
Bryn and Saren are great teachers, but they.
Yeah, but
they'd
if
be with
Adrian is
us.
gone, we also will probably be gone.
Yeah.
We'll be
I mean,
leaving as well.
presumably Saren, of course, you're welcome to
Ah.
come along.
Thank you.
Yeah, anyone who's willing to try and teach me how to write common definitely deserves to hang out with us.
Y'all are getting a lot further than I did, that's for sure.
Yeah, I suspect there might be a reason for that.
Oh, Blossom taught me a fun word.
Not
Well,
what Callan's here.
Okay.
Later. That's for Riskers. That's a
Oh, goodness.
Riskers word.
Well, if you'd like, I can make some worksheets and leave them with him. I did
Yeah.
that with my sibling when they were younger.
You know what? That would be a great idea. Yeah.
Okay.
I
Is
had
there
an-
a school around here that we could enroll him in? There's got to be a school, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very small school because mostly this is a mercenary town, but mercenaries have kids too. So yes, there are small schools. Probably just the
Okay.
one.
He'll be enrolled there.
All right. Easy enough. He was probably enrolled there before he went into his coma, so you can go reintroduce him and he's good to go.
Okay, he'll be probably half a year behind, but better late than never.
He shrugs.
When Blossom suggested that Saren and Bryn try and teach Callan, Bryn started acting a little bit weird. She got uncomfortable with that.
I didn't suggest it.
Who suggested it?
I think
Somebody.
Aaron. Oh, Kanjax.
K-Jax.
Beans boy. What I notice, Bryn was uncomfortable.
Probably.
I'll pull Bryn aside and not yell for once.
Or at least
You know.
attempt to.
You know, I'm gonna act like I'm trying to get Bryn to smoke with me or something. Like, oh, check this out! I got some new shit in.
Ajax, I really don't know. Okay.
Look, okay, Bryn, I just need a distraction. I know you're not into the old leaf. You okay? You seemed a little uncomfortable.